Hello, hello, my Jujutsu sorcerers. Today, I'm gonna do what everyone else has been doing, which is criticizing a game that is just got released it for almost 3 days now. But this, for what I'm gonna do it objectively. I'm gonna look at the actual facts of before and after, and why people hate it as it is. So I'm pinpointing their subjective experience by objective results. First thing first, let's get into combat. Combat, especially combos, they they did something to the game that before update, before the release, they made it horrendous, made it a lot less fun than it used to be, which is the M1s. They made the M1s wind up time. Used to, this is instant. As soon as you press it, that's a one hit, and you can spam this. So what they did is they did wind up time, so it makes everything a lot slower. Combat, grinding, weapons, they're all a lot slower. Well, to be honest, the weapon stays around the same. Well, never mind, it's still a little bit slow, but that wind up time made the combos that you can do in the game a lot more horrendous, which I think that's why a lot of people start spamming and a lot of content creators looking at it as a game full of spams because that's more efficient. People will always chase the meta, and the meta as of right now is spam it because now combo is not as valid as before. Also, that combos wind up time. If you have a just a single little bit lag, your enemy will escape that, do a block, and your combo is done. So why bother, right? They made that horrendous, so why bother dealing with it? So they start spamming. They start doing stuff that they shouldn't do in the game that was originally designed for, but now they gotta deal with it. Now, back to combat. Now let's talk about curse technique. The main problem I have with curse technique is that it doesn't they doesn't feel like they're from the same game. Some curse technique doesn't feel like it belongs into the game. Let's say something like curse speech. Curse speech doesn't feel like it belongs in here. Cryokinesis also doesn't feel like it belongs in here. What else? Blood, blood manipulation is very lackluster. Construction, I mean, if you read the manga, you know construction are very decent, you know, but they don't, despite they will spoil you the entire manga, yet they don't follow their source material. Construction can be very OP. The only construction we saw is, is just that one bullet, but in fact they can do a lot more. And as a Heian era that we've been perceived to be, got into the merger and become a sorcerer that have curse technique across all time, they made most of the stuff on here lackluster. They create rarities, and so special grades got a lot more diverse abilities than any other ones. I'm not saying that's bad, it is a reason that they're that good. But something like Judgment. Judgment in the manga, in the lore, is unique. Is just as unique as Gamble Fever. Because it's not a normal traditional sorcery to act that way. Gamble Fever have the modern aspect of gambling, that Judgment have the modern aspect of the judicial law. But they're both broken because of that. But they're not. They're just special. They're not fitting into the mode of Jujutsu sorcery. So you come in here and start labeling them in a way that they should be like that. It just doesn't feel right. Curse technique shouldn't feel like you're spending a ability and you use it to gain everything else. It just makes the system a lot weaker because you have the rest of the stuff that you want to utilize, but most people only have two innate slots. So of course they're gonna choose the best, unless you just enjoy the game. But let me tell you, ain't much a lot players like that play this just to enjoy it. So that's curse technique. Now let's talk about weapons. Uh, the main problem I have with weapons, not much to be honest. The weapon just very lackluster. To the point that I don't even have anything to talk about. It's not that they're perfect to be in the position of the game. It's just the fact that they're very lackluster. They're more or less a status symbol than the actual weapon. You know, this is literally a status symbol. So it doesn't feel like they're here to be used as weapon. Which if you're maining jujutsu, sorcery, I guess it's not that bad. But I feel like it's very lackluster. They're just extra stuff you have on your hand. I will rather see they have different kinds of weapon. You have a lance right here, you got a battle axe, you got a swords, and you can make it unique from the stats to have another like weaponry, curse weaponry. Where you can unlock, what was it called? Simple domain. You can unlock simple domain, and then you have one of the option to link up your weapon with the simple domain. So every time you open up simple domain, you can do like like those bateau movement, like instant, hit. Maybe it just do it once after you open domain if you have a weapon. And you have to have weapon equipped to use it. That sounds great, but they don't do it because it's very lackluster. That's what I'm saying. They have so much stuff they can do with this game, make it so much fun, but they nerfed the combat. They made CT have classes, and they made weapon lackluster. And they don't want to hear all this because they will ban you right away. All right, now let's talk about content. So content, let's talk about content and within them items. Let's talk about the non-usable item. Well, not non-usable item. Let's talk about those wastable item. Let me tell you, they're pretty horrible because you don't have any decent drops out of it, especially if you have everything. Those become very useless to the point that you don't even know what you use it for, unless it's like a booster. But mainly, those luck induced, as long as you get everything, it really doesn't matter how much you have. It's just useless on your hand. And another thing about items is that I have everything in the game. And let me tell you, solely because of that, solely because of the content of items, I don't know what to do in this game. I feel like I do anything is a little bit extra. I'm playing this game more or less for fun at this point than actually grinding for something. which it, I have a little suggestions right here, which is overhaul this. Let them be a little bit more randomized. So like every time you get a drop, those are randomized for that specified equipment. And because of that, the builds in this game will become more diverse. And you will have more OP equipments. You can literally build a market just because of that. But they don't do it. They don't do it. They rather have everything fixed. So yeah. Now that's content. Let's talk about stories. So far, I've done the stories before they, soft reset. I'm right now waiting for 10 Shadows or Curse Manipulation. They said 10 Shadows is gonna come with release, but that was like a long time ago, and obviously they didn't keep that promise. It seems like they're trying to slowly turning this game into a cash grab, which is pretty sad. I guess they made enough money from that $30 to sell a tester, because when that $30 was out, it was still a decent game, but now it's no longer a game, and now it's a cash grab. Stories are not bad. I don't read them at all. I just do them. I get my stuff, and I'm done. I don't have too much a problem with it, other than that didn't finish the story, and they said they're already almost done with it before release, and now after release, they still didn't done anything. Faction still probably, I'm not sure. The faction still exists. The faction exists in the game. I don't think there is as of right now. But yeah, no factions. Calling game is not out. Everything is just same as before release. The only thing they did is changing that combat system. Have that little more delay, so everything gets a lot slower. You know, you can say like if you want to see what the intention is, you can look at the action. And as of right now, looking at their actions, I feel like they're making this as a cash grab. Another thing is the fact that they release codes of spins than actual two times experience. First of all, I'm not sure about the drops in the game, but when the game pre-release, when I start grinding, there are some drops like legendary drop that gives 50 spins. So most of the time, I don't even care about spins. How I started anyway, I really didn't care either. You get those like, stats refound. So I had an opportunity to experiment with the stats, the skill trees. Oh yeah, another thing, the skill trees. The trees, good idea, horrible perks. Some of it kind of useless if you know how the game, like if you have the knowledge of the game. So some of it useless, some of it are extremely overpowered. Like Spark of Black can be a combo extender. I think that should tell you how OP it is. It can be a combo finisher too. Curse technique, uh, let's say just as everything else, this is lackluster. For 60 points, you get that 30 seconds, and you can do it while you're stunned. For 60, I don't know, man. It just doesn't sound right. And for this, unless you're not playing, as you're not playing PvP only, you're playing PvP also. This tree just becomes invalid. Like you don't need to get to this point unless you play PvP. Then you can get to that point. Specify build as a strength build. That's not bad of a choice. So that's story and the stat tree. Now let's talk about missions. first thing first about missions, I miss not much to say. I think it's just basic stuff. But the only thing I miss about missions is the Star Vessel, escort. Uh, that make you feel like you're actually playing something because you're getting jumped too. And playing this while you're getting jumped, let me tell you, it's kind of fun. Not gonna lie, even though it's even though it's like mobs, AI and stuff. Especially the AI is getting better, so it should make that a lot more fun. But they removed it. They no longer put that in the game. Missions, and another thing about missions is drops are whole lackluster. A lot of people probably not gonna chase for reds. They are chasing for purples. Once they get purple, I don't think they even need reds because they already grinded, probably already got it anyway. And that ties to lackluster of items and weapons. All right, let's get into graphics. Graphics, music, sound. Uh, for me, I the music. I to be honest, once I got into the game, once I got the game, I disabled the music right away. I don't want to hear that music. I would rather hear my own music. Put some rap, battle rap and stuff like that, and just go at it. But the problem I have with the music in this game is that option to turn off music doesn't turn off every other music. Cause like your domain expansion, like Malevolent Shrine or Death Gamble, they have their own music. Jacob's Ladder, sorry, not Jacob's Ladder. Uh, what was that? What was that called? Utah's domain also has music, making that angelic as hell music. Uh, to be honest, if you want to make a disable music option, you can disable rest of that music too. If you care about the sound effects, my man, just use what you already have in the game. But yeah, they don't do it. So every time you open your domain, you gotta turn off the music of your own music, and then listen to the screams, the OTS of that music uh, until it's finished, which is pretty annoying. Not gonna lie. Let's talk about textures now. So the big problem I have with textures is that it gets the game very laggy. It made the game beautiful, but it made the game very laggy too. Mainly because if you are having multiple people in the game that opens domain and do some domain clash, you as a player on the other side of the map sometimes can feel that lag, which is annoying. You know, there is not a horrible game unless the game is unplayable, and that makes it very unplayable on sometimes. Especially when I told you like you get a little bit laggy, your M1 just slips out because of that wind up time, and now it's no fun anymore. It's frustration that you're playing with. You know, that's texture. Uh, Texture. Oh yeah, yeah. Also fits. The fits all look clean, but sometimes it gets very laggy. If I put my black flash arm on there, every time I use Heian Awakening, and then after it wears off, my character gets bugged. Looks very goofy too. I'm not gonna show you, cause yeah. Now let's talk about effects. The effects in this game, just like the curse technique, some effects doesn't feel like it belongs into the game. It doesn't feel like it's part of the game. Uh, I know in fact that a lot of people has been working on this game, but like some things in this game doesn't feel like it actually belong into the game. It feel like a asset in the game from somewhere else, which is not good, you know. It's not good to have, you know, that immersion breaking in the game. But yeah, that's mostly it. Oh yeah, let's talk about leveling. Uh, to be honest, if you're a tester, you should know like what's the most efficient way to level. I leveled up within a day after release, cause I abused the heck out of the Ocean Curse, cause Ocean Curse doesn't have too much of iframe, and you know as long as I have my own domain, I can finish that in a minute and a half. I see some people did even faster, but you know they did that wind up time. Who knows if that is, you know, that kind of messed up the stuff or not. But yeah, a minute and a half, it give me around a level where at least half of a level. You put around 7 8 hours in there, you're maxed. You're pretty much done. So you're maxed. Uh, for me, especially for me, I got everything already. So it makes the game very, very casual, I guess. You know, very boring once I get everything and leveled up to the point. Now I'm just doing min-max on everything. You know, it's not fun. Especially that wind-up time makes it even more not fun. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. All I'm gonna say about the state of the game right now. As I consider, the game is not bad. It's not good either. It could be better. It was better. But yeah, who knows what they're gonna do with it. I hope they get it fixed one day. And, you know, the game makes it more fun. Because ultimately, people that play game are mainly because it's fun. But yeah, I will see you guys around. Probably never. Because I don't. I'm a. You know, I got mental issue. Anyway, have a good day. Have a good grind. Good luck. Have fun. And we see and meet again.